Before we name a single person, I want you to think about what it takes for a courtroom to make an entire country choose a side. Not the judge, not the jury, the public. Millions of people who weren't there, who didn't hear the evidence, who only saw a clip, a headline, a face, and decided I'm with them or I hate them. 10 cases, and here's what they all have in common. Not a single verdict was decided in that courtroom. You decided it. I decided it. Millions of people who never heard a word of testimony decided it. From a thumbnail, a clip, a headline. This video is about how that happens, and why it's almost impossible to stop the ones the world felt sorry for. Gypsy Rose Blanchard. She was 26 in a wheelchair, apparently dying. Her mother had invented every single illness. When Gypsy was arrested for arranging her mother's murder, people didn't want to convict her. They wanted to hug her. Munchausen by proxy destroys the victim's ability to distinguish their own reality from the one they've been handed. Gypsy had no frame of reference for normal. Her entire identity was a fabrication her mother constructed. The public recognized something the courtroom struggled to name, a person who had never truly been free, making the only decision that felt like escape. Brendan Dassey, 16 years old, no lawyer, no parent. Within 2 hours, detectives had walked him through a confession that matched nothing at the crime scene, and he went to prison for life. Watch the interrogation. Every time Brendan answers wrong, the detective redirects. What else? What else? Until he lands on something that sounds right. He wasn't remembering a murder. He was trying to please the adults in the room. That instinct, designed to keep vulnerable kids safe, destroyed his life. Cyntoia Brown. She was 16, trafficked. She killed the man who had bought her for the night because she believed she was going to die. The state of Tennessee gave her life in prison. She was tried as an adult for a decision made inside a psychology that had been brutalized since childhood. Trafficking victims operate in a state of chronic survival mode. Their threat perception, their decision-making, their sense of what choices even exist. All of it is shaped by sustained trauma. The jury judged the act. They never heard about the psychology that produced it. That's why the public, when they finally learned her story in 2017, reacted like they were hearing about someone failed by the system twice. Richard Jewell. He found the bomb. He cleared the crowd. He saved lives. And within 72 hours, his name was on every front page in America as the suspect. The FBI leaked a theory. The press ran with it. The public, shown a vivid, confident narrative, had no psychological mechanism to question it. Richard Jewell's case is a textbook study in how media shapes presumption of guilt. The actual bomber wasn't caught for years. Jewell never fully recovered. Ryan Ferguson. His friends said he dreamed they committed a murder together. That dream testimony sent Ryan Ferguson to prison for 10 years.
Defendant Ryan William Ferguson, guilty of murder in the second degree.
When the witness finally admitted he had lied,
things happened much differently than I had previously stated. I regret now that I put an innocent man through that. He didn't deserve it.
Ryan was already in his late 20s. The decade was gone. The criminal justice system has no reliable mechanism for catching contaminated memory until it's too late. Ryan Ferguson's case exposed something the public found almost incomprehensible: that you can go to prison not because someone lied on purpose, but because a human brain filled in gaps with things that never happened, and the system never questioned it. The ones who lost the public completely. Jodi Arias. She wasn't there. Then intruders did it. Then she did it, but in self-defense. By the time Jodi Arias finally settled on her story, Travis Alexander had been stabbed 27 times, shot, and had his throat slashed. The jury convicted. The public had made up their minds long before that.
Juror number 1, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 2, is this your true verdict?
Yes.
Psychologists call it DARVO: deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. Arias deployed it with precision across days of testimony. But the tell wasn't what she said. It was the pause before she said it. Genuine recall is immediate and imperfect. Rehearsed recall is smooth and delayed. The courtroom noticed. So did 20 million people watching at home. Chris Watts. He stood in front of cameras and begged for his pregnant wife and daughters to come home.
Shanann, Bella, Celeste, you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody.
He held their photos. He said he missed them. He had buried them at an oil work site the previous morning. The driveway footage became one of the most analyzed pieces of video in true crime history. Not because it was dramatic, but because it was wrong in a way people couldn't articulate at first. When Watts said his daughter's names, his face didn't move the way a grieving father's face moves.
Shanann, Bella, Celeste.
The public's instinct was correct. Body language experts later confirmed what millions had felt. This was performance, not pain. Larry Nassar. 156 women and girls stood in a courtroom and told him what he had done to them. He wrote a letter to the judge saying it was emotionally hard to listen to. She read it. Then she gave him 175 years. The fury directed at Nassar wasn't just about what he did. It was about who protected him while he did it. USA Gymnastics, Michigan State, the US Olympic Committee. Psychologists call it institutional betrayal. When the systems designed to keep you safe become the mechanism of your harm. The sentencing hearing became something the justice system rarely offers, a room where 156 people were finally believed all at once. Nicholas Cruz. He confessed. He pleaded guilty.
I am very sorry for what I did, and I have to live with it every day.
The only question left was whether he would die for it. Jury came back with life in prison. Some families cried in relief. Others walked out without a word. The same verdict. Two completely opposite experiences of justice. The Parkland penalty trial exposed something research consistently shows, but grief refuses to accept: that the punishment doesn't determine the healing. Survivors disagreed publicly about what justice even meant, which made the outrage more complicated, more human, and more honest than most courtroom coverage ever allows. There was no right answer in that room, only loss, taking different shapes. Derek Chauvin, a teenager, filmed it. 9 minutes and 29 seconds. The world watched, and then waited 11 months to find out if it would matter. When the verdict came, guilty on all counts, the cameras outside the courthouse caught something you almost never see. Millions of people, in real time, exhaling. The public's reaction to Chauvin wasn't about one officer. It was the displacement of decades of grief, distrust, and unanswered questions onto a single trial. Psychologists studying collective trauma describe moments like this as psychological watersheds, not healing, but proof that acknowledgement is possible. The outrage before the verdict and the silence after it were both the same thing. A generation that had stopped expecting the system to see what they saw. 10 cases, and in every single one, the public's reaction had almost nothing to do with the law. We protected the ones who reminded us of someone powerless. We turned on the ones who reminded us what people are capable of hiding. The courtroom is where law happens, but the verdict that echoes, the one that lives in comment sections and dinner table arguments for years, is always the one we deliver ourselves. And how fast we deliver it